What's up, Mixed Reactions? It's Tuesday, October 21st, 2025. I think this is episode 96. It's Ian, Casey, Justin, and Nick. How are you doing today, Casey?
Just ready to talk some sports. It was a big week. We have a big night tonight. A lot going on right now.
Yes, sir. Hockey season started. How are you doing today, Justin?
Not bad. Uh, I really can't stand George Springer, so I was really kind of bummed that the Mariners didn't make it through, but they had every opportunity to make it. But it was a good weekend in football. I'll take that.
For some of us.
Yeah, it's true.
And how about you, Nick?
Well, I'm miserable. It seems like everybody won except for me. Everybody, all my friends' teams won. Everybody in my division won, and I didn't. So I'm doing okay.
Yeah, and
Yes. Yes.
actually, it was you that I wanted to start out with. Obviously, you said it. Your team was the only one that lost this weekend. The Rams, Cowboys, and the Patriots won. Yeah, just your overall thoughts. What did you feel about the game Sunday?
Well, let's see. I felt like we had about six opportunities to score a touchdown between Justin Jefferson getting that breakup between him and Cooper DeJean, which I mean, 9 times out of 10, that guy's going to come down with it. And I watched the 10th time he didn't. Um, TJ Hawkinson bringing it in. I don't care. That was a catch.
That
If it
was a
has to go to
catch.
New York and all that, I don't give a shit. That is mine. He literally knew it. I knew it. That bobbled. I don't care. He was in bounds. It didn't matter. And for some reason, the referee did not want to side with us on that one. And then to top it all off, Carson Wentz is throwing 40 times a game. And I'm just like sitting there scratching my head, wondering if Kevin O'Connell is ready to make the next step and put JJ back in it. But apparently, a high ankle sprain is not going to be cured by this week. So I don't know where he's going with my team, but Kevin O'Connell is definitely worrying me some. Where does he trust this guy? I don't know. But if we're going to keep on playing it this way, I mean, what to do now? Like Carson Wentz throws another 42 picks. I'm all set.
And you guys have already
So
had your bye week too, speaking about his injury needing time to recover.
Yeah, but it said 4 to 6 weeks, and apparently he was suited up. The guy was right there talking to Carson Wentz when he threw his second pick, and I'm like, and I looked him up, and he's the emergency backup. He wasn't even the second string, and I'm like, okay, now I'm really dumbfounded. I don't know what's going on.
do you feel it's more of they don't want to risk JJ for the season going forward if it's not fully recovered? Or do you feel more it's a situation of maybe Kevin O'Connell's not seeing what he is liking what he's seeing from JJ, maybe in practice or in meetings, stuff that we don't get to see?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think he's scared of his injury. I think that he doesn't want JJ to go out there and be startled. And apparently, I just if he sees him every day, and this guy, I mean, I'm sure he's like, hey, I can play now, I can play. And he'd be like, no, let's take another week, let's do another week. I'm sure that conversations happen more than once because JJ McCarthy's definitely a hungry man. He needs to get his reputation out there. So I think it's a little bit of both. I think Kevin O'Connell sees what JJ can do, and I think he's scared that if he puts him out there and he starts bombing, like like what is Kevin O'Connell going to do? Put Carson Wentz back in, and what blame it on another injury? Like there's got to be, in my opinion, I think Kevin O'Connell is saving them to play a crappy team. That's what I think. It's got to
I
be.
think it makes a lot of sense because if you think about it, they mortgaged their future when they let Sam Bradford walk.
Sam Darnold.
Yes.
So I mean, I understand the thought that like you hedge your bets on JJ McCarthy moving forward.
Mhm.
So if you screw that up, then you are the negative goat, as it were, uh,
Mhm.
regarding what because I'm sure he had a hand in that decision. I can't imagine he didn't have some part in it.
Him
So
and the
Of course.
GM, they didn't want nothing. They didn't want to pay. What was it, 125 million for Sam Darnold? I like Sam Darnold, but
he
we
did
see this
fine,
league in.
and he's
Yeah,
doing fine.
yeah, now he is. That's easier said than done. We don't know. The next year, I mean, everybody gets that big contract, and then the next year it doesn't look so good. I was down to get rid of Sam Darnold too. I was like, let's put all our hands in the basket with JJ. And I mean, it's not paying off for us whatsoever.
No, I agree. And especially in this type of situation when it comes to Minnesota, because for the most part, I would think Minnesota is in a win now mode. You have Justin Jefferson in his prime. You have an emerging number two in Jordan Addison. Aaron Jones is probably either still in the tail end of his prime or just out of it, but he's still a very efficient running back. TJ Hawkinson's in his prime. You have a very solid defense. I think that Minnesota should be in that win now mode. And when they're not going with the young quarterback and going with Carson Wentz, who's somebody that obviously had that good season with Philadelphia back in 2017, but has struggled immensely ever since, it does strike a level of fear. If I was a Vikings fan, that maybe Kevin O'Connell doesn't trust J.J. McCarthy to lead this team yet.
Which is rightfully so, though, because if he doesn't, I've never seen a quarterback get so coddled on the sideline. When that Bears game happened, it seemed like J.J. McCarthy was right next to Kevin O'Connell the whole time, like chaperoned. And then with the Atlanta Falcons game, it was even worse. It's like they couldn't separate. And I'm like, dude, you can't teach him. If you already taught him in practice, he ain't going to learn anymore on this game. He's got to go out there and do it.
And maybe what he's doing is giving Carson this one last game against the Chargers, who've been struggling. So this is a game that Minnesota can and probably should win. But then you get that almost mini bye week to prepare for next week for JJ to be ready to go.
Yeah, and I think it's Detroit. I want to say it's Detroit.
I can check for you. I got you. It is going to be the Chargers. They're going to play on October 23rd, which is Thursday.
They play Thursday.
Oh, wow. They play on Thursday.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, then it's Detroit. Then it's Detroit.
Yeah, so there we go. So when are you going to bring them back? We don't have that easy. We have the hardest schedule remaining. So we're in a world of hurt.
I think the Detroit game's a good way to put him back because, yes, you're kind of throwing him in the fire, right? It's against the best team in your division, more or less, but you're also giving him that extra couple of days to prepare for the Lions, obviously because they play Thursday, so they had that extra 3 days to get him ready. Yeah, so I think it's a smart play, to be honest, and I'm not going to say this is going to be the make or break game for JJ McCarthy by any means, but this is going to show where he's at currently if he plays on next Sunday, which I think that's what's going to happen. I think he will be your starting quarterback, win or lose come Thursday. Doesn't matter what Carson Wentz says. I think next Sunday you will be seeing McCarthy out there versus the Lions.
Yeah, except Carson Wentz's role, he's a journeyman. He's there for that 1 year. He's just there. He's there to be a backup. And for some reason, and what really makes me mad is that we are winning these games. We should have beat the Eagles. I think we could have beat them by 2 touchdowns at least if everything would have went our way. Friggin' Will Riker, though, damn, 5 for 5. I'm like, everything's going our way with field goals. We can handle this. Once I said, if he misses a field goal, we're not going to win the game at all. To give them the momentum boost. And he didn't miss one. And of course, we didn't win. And like I said, that uncharacteristic Justin Jefferson catch, I'm like, he had that so many times, and it really is discouraging.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, that's all you can do, really. And I don't think Minnesota's season's over by any means. You guys are still in a good spot. It's just I hate to say it because it's still early in the season. I feel like Thursday's a must-win for them.
Yeah, it is.
With how jam-packed that division is, it kind of has to be look at it as a must-win.
Yeah, especially with the way Chicago's going. Yeah, the NFC North is a phenomenal division this year.
I literally said, I'm like, watch, we'll lose to Philly and all the other teams will win. And of course, all the North teams won, all of them.
Yeah, they did.
I can't even believe this. I can't believe it. I'm a Vikings fan.
So let's move on to a team that won. Justin, your Patriots, man, are looking good. Before we dive into them fully, I talked to you yesterday.
Yes.
And I said I had a concern about them, and I was going to save it for the show.
Go for it.
Here's my concern for the Patriots. While they are looking good right now, outside of the Buffalo game, their schedule has been cupcakes, tomato cans, and JV squads.
True.
Outside of
won't dispute that. They have a very cushy schedule.
My level of concern for New England is this. Not even so much when they have those couple of tough games during that middle stretch when they play Atlanta and Tampa Bay. My concern for New England is that due to the easiness of their schedule, they're not going to be ready for playoff football, and they're going to be one and done because they're not ready.
Well, even if they're one and done, which I won't say that they won't be, um, they weren't supposed to be anywhere near where they are now.
No, but here's where it gets deeper, right? So they have this super easy schedule. They have that win over Buffalo right now. The only team that's ahead of them in the AFC currently is the Colts, right? So
Right.
what it really could be looking like is if you keep this momentum and Buffalo stumbles, right? If Buffalo stumbles for another 2 or 3 games, let's say the Colts keep going it the way they do, right? You're looking to finish at probably the second or the third seed, which means you might have a team.
It probably, and right now you'd be looking at possibly Buffalo or Kansas City coming to Gillette.
Potentially.
Potentially, right now.
And the Kansas City one's tough because I think Kansas City's back, so I think they're going to roll off a bunch of wins. But
I'm
Buffalo,
saying as we
that's what I'm
speak right
thinking.
here, right now, that's what you'd be looking at potentially.
That's what I'm thinking is Buffalo.
Sure.
And so I don't think they'd be ready for that level of playoff intensity. And I'm not saying we'd be looking at the Mac Jones rookie year when Buffalo blew them out of the water.
Right.
But the way that I view it then, I might see that as a comfortable Buffalo victory. And then not a demoralizing end of the season for New England because they still made it to the playoffs. But one of those seasons where it's like, yeah, they only made it because their schedule was so soft.
Honestly, I wouldn't even look at it that way because this team was not supposed to be in contention in the AFC whatsoever, regardless of the cushy schedule. I think the sophomore leap that Drake May has made, and it's not even it's a launch. I wouldn't even call it a leap.
Oh yeah,
it's a launch.
100%. We said that was one thing that had to happen.
That was the measure of going into the season. That was the level measure of success or failure that we talked about with the Patriots coming into the season. It had nothing to do with the record or where they ended up because honestly, they could have ended up with another 4-win season. And as long as Drake May looked fine, I was not going to complain about it. But
that's fair. That's fair. But to rebuke that, you and I and everyone knows expectations change throughout the course of a season.
Oh yeah, and that's for every team. It's regardless of any situation, any team. I mean, yes, right now we're riding the high of a 4-game winning streak, which we for the last 3 years had no business even thinking about. So there is a lot of recency bias and recency expectations, and there's nothing wrong with having that because it's something we haven't had for the last 4 years.
Does it concern you as a fan, though, the easy schedule that you had, knowing that when, say, because it's looking like you're almost a sure thing to make the playoffs with the remaining schedule that you have, does it concern you?
We can go 500 and still make the playoffs at this point right now.
That's what I'm saying. So does that concern you? Because you're not going to get a cupcake in the playoffs.
What would concern me is if we ran the table. As weird as that sounds, if we ran the table and did not lose until we got to the playoffs, that was what I would get concerned because then we get complacent.
That would be a disappointment. If you ran the table, then when one and done the playoffs, that would be a disappointment, yes. Regardless of where you thought they were going to be to start the season.
Correct.
Now,
but I don't foresee. I mean, all depending on who the matchup is, I don't foresee necessarily a one and done. I see maybe a 2 and done right now. Because if we end up with the 2 or the 3, or I don't think right now we're going to jump Indianapolis at the way that they're playing right now. I don't see it. And I think Kansas City could probably because they're right on everyone's heels now. They're rear back ready to go. I don't see us finishing higher than the 2 seed again. Even if we do run the table, I think Indy will still hold the overall tiebreaker based on the strength of schedule and conference play. But I'm not going to be disappointed if we're a 2 and done. I would be disappointed if we ran the table and then we're 1 and done.
That's fair. And you guys thankfully get to play. You guys get to play the Jets 2 more times. You get to play the Dolphins once more. I think it's going to be interesting to see if New England actually plays down to their level of competition.
And that's the one thing that really bugged me about the Raiders game and the Pittsburgh game. Because the Raiders game, they weren't ready to start the season. They weren't ready.
No.
Straight up.
No.
Not ready at all. The Pittsburgh game, they choked that in every which direction they probably could have. Right now, by all intents and purposes, if they actually played to the way that they're supposed to be playing and the way they have been playing, they should be 6-1 right now.
And look at the Raiders now, man. I remember watching that game. Like, oh, Raiders might be, and it's flip flopped. It's
They're
gonna be
like
interesting though.
they had the game
They fucking
almost
suck.
like a game where like New England beat Cincinnati and they had no reason beating Cincinnati, even though the Raiders and the Patriots in the first game was kind of a coin toss in the first place. Even the Raiders looked a whole lot better than we did, but they look like crap right now.
Yeah, so that was the only game this year where because you can't count the Pittsburgh game as flat out getting beat. That was a lot of mental mistakes.
That was
The Raiders game,
self-inflicted torture.
right? The Raiders game of the losses is the one where they flat out just got beat,
Yeah.
and that which happens. That's every team that's going to happen to at some point throughout the season.
Honestly, I mean, as much as I want the Patriots to, obviously, I want them to do great, run the table as it were, and get to the promised land because I think Drake is the guy who will get the Patriots back to the promised land. Here's my concern: Drake has taken 22 sacks on the year.
Yeah,
That is tied for the second highest with Justin Fields. And right behind that, right ahead of them is Cam Ward with 30. Now, I will say this. The offensive line has looked a hell of a lot better than it has in recent years. It's not perfect by any means.
the middle of the pack offensive line.
It's a mid-range offensive line. I wouldn't say it's elite. I wouldn't say it's crap, but it's mid right now.
Right in the middle.
Right in the middle. If Drake can stop ducking and running and keep himself healthy and stop getting himself into situations where he's need to potentially go into concussion protocol, then he's fine. Slide, damn it. Slide.
I'd say that's one of the things with Drake that I'm noticing too. It's he's obviously very athletic. He has
gotten
wheels.
better at not risking himself to life and limb
But
injury.
He's not built like Josh Allen. He's
No,
not that big.
He's a scrawny Josh Allen
Yes.
comparatively. But the thing is, if he goes down, the Patriots' chances of anything go up in smoke.
They're done, of course, 100%. They're
Completely
over.
up in smoke. Josh Dobbs came in and was a very serviceable 2 or 3 down fill-in while Drake was in the blue tent. And he did fine. But that's not sustainable. It's not going to be sustainable. No way, no how.
No. You know what is sustainable, though? Oh, go ahead, Nick. Go ahead.
I said it. I think that's a realistic possibility of thinking. Like, you're going to think that New England's going to be healthy throughout this whole year and that Drake May is not going to have any concerns whatsoever. Where you said there was 22 sacks. Geez, everything you said, Justin, was pretty much coming out of my mouth. With the realistic of the schedule, like Cleveland, this is a tough defense. I think they can pull out the upset. I don't think that New England could. I think New England's going to get a couple upsets against them. I mean, that's football. That's what happens. And I think in the end, I think that Buffalo will take this division back. And when they play again, it's going to be a different story. And with Miami and the Jets, I mean, yeah, they're horrible right now. But division games, that's why I take them serious, but I don't take them serious. And that's
no, I
like
hear
when Buffalo
that makes
lost.
sense.
Buffalo has to come to New England. There's a bigger difference right now. Buffalo has to go to New England now. They've lost in their own home yard.
You guys went there and won. That's what I'm saying. Like any when you get a nice roll in Josh Allen and he's red hot, good luck. It's going to be something.
Has not been, but that's the problem right now. Buffalo needs to right the ship before we start. Yeah, I'm not writing Buffalo off. Not at all. Not one bit. And I'm not crowning the Patriots division champs right now.
No, I was going to say, Justin, I know you said it would be nice for them to, but I don't think you believe New England is going to run the table the rest of the
only time that I'm going to start thinking division crown is if they run the table to the bye week and they're 11-2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's gonna be tough. I'm excited for them. And yeah, if they get to the bye week at 11-2, I totally get what Justin's saying. Because if Buffalo doesn't right the ship, even if New England, they might just build a gap that's just too insurmountable to where even if Buffalo gets hot down, who was it last year? Cincinnati that played like shit at the beginning of I mean, Dallas even at one point, right? They got down really bad at the beginning of the season, too little, too late.
Right now, Dallas looked like crap for a few weeks, and right now their offense is like otherworldly.
Well, I mean, if we're going to talk about Dallas here, boys, let's break a few things down with these Dallas Cowboys here. So obviously they're coming off a big win, right? It was a great division win. Dak again played absolutely phenomenal. He became the fourth quarterback in NFL history for 4 straight games, threw for 3 touchdowns, no picks, and a quarterback rating over 120. That is some absolutely remarkable stuff that we're seeing from them. I'm not putting any stock into the defense. And here's why. Washington had 3 starters on offense, all of them receivers, by the way, that were out that game. And then obviously the injury to Jayden Daniels. Now, obviously, we got that strip sack on Jayden Daniels, so that turnover, I feel, is fine. The pick 6 by DaRon Bland, that was Marcus Mariota just running around in circles trying to make a play. Don't really put any stock into that. I do like how they stopped the run. That's the only thing that I'll say positive about their defense is they looked more physical on the line. They looked like they were heavier hitting. They looked like they were willing to go through their blocking assignments to make the tackle. I'm all for that. I don't know if I trust this team to string together 2 wins in a row. They haven't been able to do that all season. Of course, they had the tie in a win, but that's not 2 wins in a row. I don't trust that they can continue that intensity, especially going into where they're going into this weekend. We'll get into it in the pick segment. I'm not riding high on this win. I like it. I like the offense. Obviously, I said it earlier in the chat. I think the conversation of best receiving duo in the league is done. I think it's Lamb and it's Pickens, and I think it's this, and I think 2 is here. I think there's a decent gap between Lamb and Pickens and the next best receiving duo in the league right now, especially the way Dak's playing. I like Javonte Williams. He's second in the league in rushing, broke off another few big runs on Sunday against Washington. But guys, Dak in his career at home against Washington, what do you think his record is right now?
I don't know, 6-0.
He's never lost to Washington at home. He's thrown 20 touchdowns.
Mhm.
You know how many interceptions he's thrown against Washington at home?
2.
2? Donut. Wow.
0. Hasn't thrown 1. This is typical Dak Prescott against division rivals at home. He doesn't lose. He just doesn't. And so obviously that's good. Obviously you want to beat your division opponents. I don't trust them to go on the road and do it.
I don't trust them to do it. Trouble.
I don't trust them to do it outside of the NFC East because on the road against a division rival, he's even fine. He plays extremely well in Philly, but it's going on the road against a non-familiar opponent is where this team is still going to worry me. So I'm not riding high on this win. I'm happy it happened. I was excited during the game. I loved what the offense was doing. I was happy the defense finally got a turnover. I was happy DaRon Bland got a pick 6. But am I putting stock in it? No, not at all.
Too much bad blood?
Yeah, I mean, bad blood's, I guess, not the right word. Too much letdown from these types of wins. Dallas has these moments, even last year when they were bad, where they play almost above their level and get people to believe in them, and then they just come crashing down again. I've been dealing with it forever. I can't keep succumbing to it. I can't keep falling for it. They need to prove me wrong.
Now, the rumors today are that they're potentially going to land Max Crosby. Would you change your tune if they were to land Crosby?
Yeah, to an extent, yes. On paper, yes. I would want to see the results. But in my mind, right, I'm like, shit, they only needed 1 more stop to beat Green Bay. They only needed 1 more stop to beat Carolina. Shit, they only needed 1 more stop to beat Philly. I think Max Crosby could be that guy that could get them that stop. But getting those 1 extra stops also means I think this offense can continue to play at this high of a level, which I'm not certain it can. I'm not saying it won't, because they're the only team in the league that scored 43 times this year. But they also need to be able to do it consistently, week in and week out. And I'm not at that level yet where I think they can.
So it's a what have you done for me lately situation.
Yes, 100%.
Fair enough.
They usually play a tough team after they really go all out, too. Every time it seems like they have it right by the head, and then they get decapitated right at the end. I will say, though, Dak, we never seen Dak. I don't think I've seen Dak at this level. Like you said, George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb together. I think it's just complimentary. I think that he really has it. Why disagree with it? Like MVP, everything is all going his way. Maybe Dak just didn't have the right wide receiver. George Pickens is actually catching the balls that, Dak's thrown these kind of balls before, and his wide receivers haven't come through. Michael Gallup, like his first year there was awesome. After that, it was all bland. It was
George Pickens is like a better Michael Gallup. That's how I'm envisioning him so far. And George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb's skill sets are so different than each other's. They have a lot of the same skill sets too, but where CeeDee Lamb shines is his route running and ability to get open. Where George Pickens shines is catching the contested balls. And I'm not saying CeeDee can't, but that's not his specialty. His specialty is routing you up, getting 3 feet of separation, and then running by you for a touchdown. Pickens is, I'm going to moss you, get it over your head. And so it's two separate X types of receivers. Both are great. And I saw a stat today about Dak that I said I want to throw in this chat. Right now, guys, Dak Prescott has a higher QBR than Lamar Jackson did in 2019 when he was the unanimous MVP.
Is that sustainable, though?
I think Dak's level of play is. I don't know if the offense surrounding him will be. I love what I'm seeing from Pickens, right? But I saw him do this in Pittsburgh for short, sustained periods too. Not to this level, though. Not to this level.
And I said this in the chat earlier. I will admit, going into the season, when Dallas traded for Pickens, I thought Pickens was gonna be a flameout in Dallas, mostly because of his attitude leaving when he was in Pittsburgh, leaving his last couple years there. I was wrong.
He's been anything but a flameout. Yeah, he is flourishing, and I said it today. I said it today too. If Jerry does not pay Pickens, I will riot. Pickens looks like he's made to be a Cowboy. He looks like
You've said that about so many different players and so across so many different franchises. It's not just the Cowboys, but
I think it fits with Pickens.
Lamb and Pickens are very complementary to each other. Like you were saying, they're very similar. They're both legitimate number one receivers. So he's playing with house money on that front. He's got food to play with.
One of them is always going to be open.
Right. You can't double team them both. If you do double team them both, you get Jake Ferguson right down the middle.
Yeah. I think Pickens is gone. I think next year he's getting paid. And it ain't going to be Jerry because someone's going to outbid you.
That's a fair take. That's absolutely reasonable. And I don't
outbid him though right now. Who's in a wide receiver market right now who needs that?
New England.
Not really.
You can say
Not
that.
Really.
I can tell you what, right now, if George Pickens is up for grabs, they're going to do it.
I'm not saying they would, but right now, the wide receiver is not the level of concern that the New England Patriots have in terms of
Buffalo, New England, Green Bay could take one. I mean, there's a whole bunch of really big playoff caliber teams.
And I'm not saying don't. I'm saying that in terms of the pecking order of things they need to shore up. Wide receiver is not really right there right now because with the emergence of Kayshon Boutte and the reemergence of Stephon Diggs.
But if Pickens stays the way he is, he's going to go big.
Before we run out of time in this first segment, Ian, boy, did your Rams look efficient on Sunday, man. That Stafford-Adams connection looks like it's starting to be a problem. Matt Stafford, to me, played right into the MVP conversation on Sunday. What do you think?
My bad. Yeah, 5 touchdown passes. I think we might be a legit Super Bowl team. I mean, it didn't even look like the game was in question at any point. 21-0 at halftime. Nate Landman, 1.5 sacks. He's really starting to be a find. He's really showing himself as a playmaker. And I was really pleasantly surprised how we were able to wake up for the early game. Stafford's only, what is it, like 50 yards? He's in third place. He's like 50 yards behind Herbert for the most passing yards with 29 less attempts. And they're letting him air it out. What is he, 39 now? We just look.
I think, real quick, just to correct you on one thing, I apologize unless I saw it correctly. I think Dak is right behind Herbert. I think Stafford's right behind Dak.
You're at Dak's 2. Herbert's Herbert's 1, Dak's 2. Yeah, you're right. I looked at it wrong. He's like, "No, don't don't leave out Dak." But nah,
No,
and I
but
was
you
telling
made Casey's London slash Jacksonville Jaguars look like a JV team.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I hate that they do. That's a topic for another day. But the fact that they do the home site for the like, just make it all new. Well, maybe not for the Jaguars. They essentially play there now. But I was telling you guys, Jacksonville was also shooting themselves in the foot, just dumb penalties,
Oh
drops
yeah.
after drop. And man, they were moving the ball quite a few times and just couldn't make anything out of it. Thankfully, Cardi didn't get a chance to kick a field goal in this game. And we have our bye this week, so our defense is looking good. And it's gonna be Arizona's finding every way they can to lose a football game. Seattle, I don't know, they might be good, and then it's gonna be a tough division. But I really like how our defense is looking. Cam Curl making some pretty good plays too.
The Rams are spoiled anyway, dude. Sean McVay gets a hold of you. He's too good of a coach to not to go negative in rank and stats or anything. The guy just knows what he's doing. And I think with Matthew
Mhm.
Stafford, like obviously Devontae Adams was the man. They had to bring him in, you know? What a great addition. And then it definitely paid off. Stafford looked undeniably one of the best out there that day. Not
Yeah,
Trevor Lawrence, Stafford.
yeah, and then we got a top 10 running back in the NFL and Kyron Williams. And the week
Yeah.
Yeah, I
after
like
week,
that guy.
I was curious coming into the year how much they were going to integrate Corum. I mean, they're integrating him quite a bit. Hopefully we can get some tight end depth with Higbee and Parkinson. But no, ultimately I just really liked where we were. We have, like I said, our bye week, and then we play, I was just looking at that shit. New Orleans, that's a dub. And then
That's a
at
bye
San
week almost.
Francisco, at home against Seattle, at home against Tampa, at Carolina. If
You have
Kyler
a
Murray
tough
plays,
3 week stretch in there, but
we do. If Kyler Murray plays on December 7th, we're gonna lose by 50. I don't know. Hey, but before we get off, you know that Kyler Murray is like undisputed the best high school football player ever in the state of Texas. You know how big Texas is? Like, go look it up. He's like hands down the best football player
so
ever in Texas.
one thing that I really like about the Rams too, Ian, and obviously it goes beyond what we see with Stafford and McVay's being able to get the best out of his offensive weapons, is I really like the Rams in the trenches up front on both sides of the ball. Like I really like your offensive line, and I think you potentially have one of the best defensive lines in all the football. Jared
Hmm.
Verse is an absolute monster. You guys have very surefire D tackles. You stop the run really well. Your secondary is on point for the most part. There's been a couple instances here and there, but I really like just your overall balance as a team. And that's not something that a lot of teams have. A lot of teams are either we're going to beat you with defense or we're going to beat you with offense. I think the Rams are the type of team where they can win a game 41-40, but they can also win a game 13-10.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And like I was mentioning, guys like Cam Curl, Quentin Lake. I hate when I have ESPN.com up and the freak the video starts playing. But yeah, Jared Verse, I mean, he was the first round pick that we had and shit ever since we sold all them draft picks, and he's becoming a beast. Byron Young, I mean, him and Jared Verse up front might be one of the
It's
best combos in
scary.
the league.
Lethal.
And
Very
yeah,
lethal.
like you said, they get beat sometimes, in the secondary, but overall, I mean, Quentin Lake, different guys just every week step up. But I don't know, man, it's gonna be tough. I'm optimistic, but it's also really a really difficult schedule.
How much time we got left in the
We got about
last segment?
2 minutes 30 seconds.
2 minutes. Okay, really quickly before we get into it, you don't have to give your reasonings. Obviously, NBA season tips off tonight. Who's your finals prediction? Everybody just say your two teams.
Chicago Bulls, Oklahoma.
Chicago Bulls and the Thunder. I love it, Nicholas. I've got for the West, I got the Houston Rockets coming out. I like the addition of Kevin Durant. And for the East, I'm rolling with my boys. I think Tatum's going to be back by Christmas. I think it's the Celtics revenge year. I got Celtics and Rockets.
I actually had the same pick too, Celtics Rockets.
Knicks, Lakers.
Damn.
Oh,
Okay. Knicks
Yeah, I
Lakers.
mean, I've
Okay.
said some retarded shit before, so probably neither of them will make the playoffs. And 10
Totally
teams
fair.
make the playoffs. You know how ridiculous that is? Like two-thirds of each conference makes the playoffs.
Yeah,
Don't get me started.
it's dumb, but
Hey, did they play round ball rock tonight?
they do.
Uh,
They
they
do.
are still
They are.
yeah.
cool.
So we got about a minute left. Then, Justin, it was a bad week for me in hockey.
Yeah.
I lost
Yeah.
$20 on them. Fucking shit,
Bad
man. I
weekend.
turned
I
the
mean,
game off.
Friday night being up 3-0, then up 4-1 for that game to end in a tie, and then to get obliterated Saturday night. I'm glad you told me because when I got home from Nick's Halloween party, I was like, "Shit, yeah, I get to watch the main game now." Because
Don't,
I had Hulu, and I was like, "I have Hulu Live Sports, so I can just go back and watch it." Justin
don't,
was like, "No, don't do it, don't do
don't.
it."
Not worth it.
So I ended up watching Notre Dame and USC till I passed out.
You got
Yeah,
about.
they need a bounce back weekend this weekend. Hopefully they get it.
They'll get it. It's Colgate home of Maine will sweep them.
All right, but we got about 25 seconds. We'll see everybody for part two for the pick segment. So we can go do all of our drugs. I mean, prepare for part two. Nah, see everybody.
And that whole Kyler Murray in Texas, was that Call of Duty or was that Battlefield 6?
It ended like
All right.